Everybody's voting for the friendly voice of radio, the people's choice. Music, weather, sports, and music's radio. The people choose. Everybody's swinging to the swinging voice of radio, the people's choice. Big fry, small fry, dawn to dawn, it's radio that turns them on.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give a buck or two. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
As I keep telling John every night, not the best, not the worst, but we are definitely on the radio. Well, it looks like down at the compound, we got summer hitting here. I tell you, June and July didn't feel like summer. It kind of felt like early spring yet. Of course, in the news, they keep saying right now the temperatures worldwide is the hottest ever recorded. I don't know. Climate changes are happening. Well, tonight we got two great guests. We're going to start off with Timothy Cullen. If you remember Dr. Roger Lier, he was famous for removing like implants. Now, Timothy had an implant removed from the late Dr. Roger Lier. Timothy will be right on after this.
Ooh.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And it looks like we just lost our guest there on Skype. It just dropped out. Let's get him back on here again. And we're going to be talking about his implant removal. And hopefully we'll get him right back on. Well, I know we were having phone troubles with his phone line. He went and got his cell phone. I'm just wondering maybe if it went dead or what. But tonight, yeah, we're going to be talking about, I think he was number 12 or 13th implant removal from the Dr. Roger Lier, and I think we have him now. Well, Timothy, I tell you, the phone lines are really weird acting tonight.
I noticed that myself.
Well, how you doing? It's been a while since we've talked. Have you been any great UFO conventions lately?
No, I haven't really. Well, I went to the UFO Watchtower in July of last year and met Daryl Sims, so that's about all I've really done.
Oh, wow. Now, can you tell the listeners, you know, because we got a lot of new listeners, plus I took a break for about 5 weeks because of, an accident I had, and I'm back on again.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, well, I don't recommend that to anybody. But
don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm still not able to walk or stand. Hopefully that'll be taken and rectified here shortly. If you could tell the listeners a little bit about what happened to you, how you and your wife were in the car, you saw a UFO, and then you went to the doctor several weeks or whatever after that, and you discovered something. If you can explain a little bit about that and what it was also like to, know Dr. Roger Lier.
Great. Yeah, in May of 78, a large UFO crossed the road in front of my wife and I about 11 p.m. It was 100 foot long, 20 foot wide, 10 foot high. And presumably it landed out in the field, and we looked at it a little bit, and then I told my wife we might as well come to town. And of course, over the years, I found out that might not be all that happened. And then in November of 1998, I discovered I had a piece of metal in my arm with an X-ray after it injured my hand working. Well, Dr. Lier was on TV later on that month, and I'd made contact with him and told him about my experiences, and he had put out his book, and then he had some health issues, but then in February...
Well, hopefully we didn't lose you again.
Okay,
you're there. Okay, he had some health issues. We got that.
Pardon?
I said we got where you mentioned that Dr. Roger Lier had health issues, but that's when you dropped out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had some health issues, I think, and then in February 2000, had a cantaloupe seed type metallic object removed from my body. Mine was one of 7 cantaloupe seed type metallic objects Dr. Lier would remove in his time.
Oh, wow. Now, how did it show up when you went to the doctor? You were going there for another injury or something, and they took x-rays and it showed up or something?
I'd injured my hand working a little bit and was wondering about it, and my wife, who was a nurse, told me to, go get it checked out, and the doctor, this Mark Huebner that took the x-ray, come back and told me I had a piece of metal in my wrist, and wanted to know if I had any idea where it came from. And I sat there about 30 seconds, and it kind of dawned on me that it could have been extraterrestrial, and we went from there.
Interesting. Now, go ahead.
Mark Huebner was quite helpful on finding Dr. Lier and finding some information out. And then, like I say, later on that month, Dr. Lier was on TV with an NBC program called Confirmation Proof of Aliens Amongst Us, with some interviews and some stuff. And I contacted him and went from there.
Interesting. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit. That UFO that you and your wife seen, how big did that thing look? I mean, was it like 25 feet around, or was it quite
well,
large?
I couldn't tell you if it was round. It looked at the cigar shape when it was in front of us, and then when it got off to the side, it was kind of like an inverted pie tin would be the best thing. And my estimation, it might have been about 100 foot long. I say 20 foot wide and 10 foot high. It was really a sizable craft for what we were looking at. And like I say, it came and crossed the road in front of us, and it came under some telephone lines that were there and over a barbed wire fence that would have been underneath it. So there wasn't with a lot of clearance either way for this object to move around. And it didn't make a sound.
Interesting.
And it moved quite sporadically. It was here, and then it was there, and then it was here. It was quite awe-inspiring.
Now, when that happened, okay, did you have any felt like you lost any time or anything like that, or
Well, I presume we did, because, like I said, I had an implant removed from my body, and I presume that was the night I was.
Yeah, your phone's breaking up again. I'm trying to.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, have you ever gone through any hypnosis or anything to try to remember?
No, they've tried it about 3 times on me, but I've not been successful. So I'm kind of out of luck along those lines.
Okay.
Dr. Lier did do a surgery on a man that had an object almost identical to mine, almost identical surgery, and he regressed and talking, and we had to ask him what kind of creature he ran into, and he said, it had black eyes. And he said, you probably wouldn't remember. He's a boy of about 8 years old at the time. And he said, yeah, told me I wouldn't remember. The strange thing about it, he said it didn't have a nose or a mouth, so
interesting.
That's all I can go with.
Yeah, I mean, I had Calvin Parker on a couple of times on the show, and again, him and not really a friend. Calvin Parker.
Were on Calvin Parker and Betty and Barney Hill were on a program on the UFO, the lost evidence, and they were the first 2 stories. And Steve Colburn and Daryl Sims was on with some information. Then later on in that program about Dr. Lier's research. So I thought that was quite a pairing. And Calvin Parker talks about encountering robots or cyborgs or these types of creatures.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I'm gonna hang up again, and I'm gonna try calling you next to your landline. I'm gonna try your landline again, and hopefully it'll work this time.
You're breaking up on me for a second.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to try calling you back on your landline and see if we can, rectify the... Okay, so I'm going to...
Right here. Oh, Gary.
Okay, I'm going to call you right back. Yeah, sometimes this goes on, and there's no reason for it. So give me a second here, and we're going to try his landline again. It always happens when you have an interesting guest that either the Skype malfunctions, which I wish, they would stop upgrading it, because every time they do, it seems like there's some kind of trouble with it. I don't know. Well, let's see what happens here, if we can get him back on.
Hello?
No, it's that's just breaking up. I don't know what the situation is around in your area with the phone.
I have no idea. Well, we've had some storms, so you got me.
Yeah. Is your cell phone fully charged?
Yeah, I had it plugged in even.
Okay. Maybe if I could call your cell phone again and maybe try at a different location in your house or something, because it was dropping out.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Well, people...
Gary.
Okay. People, bear with us. We're going to try one more time here to get him and see if we can rectify what is going on with the phone lines here. It's crazy. So, I could see one not working, but both lines not working. That's interesting. And I'm even trying on a second line here. So, I don't know. Let's see here. We will find out. God, I hate that ring from Skype.
Hello.
Okay, well, hopefully it works. That we were talking about for a minute, Calvin Parker. I asked him because he, remembered a lot. It came to him afterwards about his abduction, and I did ask him. I said, "Do you feel that your abduction was like the aliens were here to, help mankind, or do you feel like they were evil?" And he came back and he said he felt that they were evil.
Well, I'm sure. What I think about, when you run into, say, an artificial intelligence, maybe of some sort, maybe that's the feeling that you will get. I'm not sure, but that's my feedback on it.
Yeah, I just wonder, did Dr. Roger Lier ever have a feeling why people were being implanted and what the implant devices were used for? Was it used to monitor a person's heart rate and stuff like that? Well, or was it for trying to gather information?
It's hard to say, and they're talking, and they disclosed on the program is that these objects receive signal or send out signals, but they also, Dr. Lier, they also receive signals. So, like I said, it's a machine inside your supercomputer inside the human body, being powered by the body, and it could probably do